Even though the Walt Disney Company has made a lot of animated movies over the years, only those made by Walt Disney Animation Studios are considered classics. It was started by Walt Disney and Roy O. Disney in 1923, making it the animation studio that has been around the longest. During the 1920s and 1930s, the studio made short animated films. Its first animated movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, came out in 1937. Strange World will be the 61st movie from Walt Disney Animation Studios. It'll come out in November. Even though Disney movies are usually known for good animation and interesting stories, not all of them have been hits with critics or audiences. Whether it's bad timing or meddling behind the scenes, these bad Disney movies make even the biggest fans look elsewhere. First, based on Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist, a group of street dogs in New York City take in an abandoned kitten named Oliver.
What's this? So that's where you've been. Looks like you're doing all right for yourself, Oliver.
He tries to help them steal for their owner, so he can pay back a loan shark, but a lonely rich girl falls for his plan. Oliver is torn between two families, and things get worse when the loan shark goes after the girl to hold her for ransom. The movie has some good music and a good look for New York City, but it doesn't add anything to this old story and doesn't do enough with the animal characters. When it came out, Don Bluth's The Land Before Time made more money at the box office around the world, but it made more money in the United States, which helped with the Disney Renaissance. Next is the story of Aladar.
Who are you?
Aladar?
A dinosaur whose egg was taken far from his nest and raised by a family of lemurs is told in Disney's first computer-generated film. When he is grown up, a meteor shower destroys their island home, and he and the other people who live there must move to the mainland. They join a group of dinosaurs that are moving through a desert to get to where they live. The opening scene of Aladar's egg flying across the landscape was used as the movie's trailer, and if the rest of the movie had been as beautiful, people would remember it more. The CGI still looks pretty good.
Excuse me, Crone, you got a second?
Get lost, kid.
Relax, Bruton.
And James Newton Howard's score is one of the best in any Disney movie. Unfortunately, the movie is full of jokes that are out of date and tells a boring story that leaves people wanting more. Moving on is an extremely goofy movie, which is the follow-up to a Goofy movie, which came out in 1995. It has characters that fans already know and love. In the movie, Goofy's son Max goes away to college and tries to be independent, but Goofy has a hard time letting go and getting used to life without Max at home. Max and Goofy work on their relationship and try to get back together while competing in an extreme sports championship for college students.
Hey, Maxie, what if I joined your team? I mean, we could practice together and wear them funny outfits and everything. It'd be a lot of fun.
In the animated movie, Goofy is played by Bill Farmer, Max is voiced by Jason Marsden, and Pete is voiced by Jim Cummings. It's been praised by critics and audiences alike, and it's thought of as a fun and funny movie for kids and families. But it has also been criticized by many people for not being as good as the first Goofy movie. It didn't live up to what the characters and series could have been. Also, the movie's animation and plot were not as polished as those in earlier Disney movies. Next up, The Black Cauldron. This movie is based on Lloyd Alexander's book, The Chronicles of Prydain. It's about a boy named Taran who wants to be a great warrior.
I'm not a warrior. I'm a pig boy. What would I do with a sword?
One day while daydreaming, he loses a prophetic pig to the evil Horn King's minions. The bad guy wants to use the pig's abilities to find an artifact that will let him call up an army of undead warriors. This scary Disney animation almost put an end to Disney animation in 1985. It has become a cult classic, but the 12 minutes that were cut from the final product made it too dark, gave it a generic plot, and made the story hard to follow. Moving on, the director of The Emperor's New Groove made the movie Chicken Little, which is about a boy who thinks the sky is falling and gets laughed at by his neighbors. A year later, he joins the baseball team in his town and quickly becomes the best player. But he was right about things falling from the sky, as he and his friends soon find a lost alien child.
Alien invasion. I see that now. Look up. There it is.
Yeah, you know, about that. It's actually just a rescue mission.
Rescue mission?
Yeah, you see, this alien kid was left behind by mistake, and they're just coming back to get him.
Chicken Little is probably Disney's meanest movie movie to date, and it is still rightly thought of as one of the worst movies ever made by the company. The people in the town are mean to this poor kid, and they only like him when he makes them feel good about themselves. His father is the worst character in the movie because he's willing to throw his son under the bus to save face, but the movie wants us to want them to make up in the end. Olaf's Frozen Adventure is a musical animated movie that is a spin-off of the 2013 hit movie Frozen. Josh Gad voices Olaf the snowman and other characters from Frozen. Olaf goes on a mission to find the best holiday traditions for Anna and Elsa, who are fighting to keep their family's traditions alive.
It's you, Olaf. You are our tradition.
Me?
Surprise!
Oh.
Along the way, Olaf learns about different Christmas traditions and how important it is to make new memories and spend time with loved ones. The music for the movie was written by Elisa Samsel and Kate Anderson. Kristen Bell plays Anna, and Idina Menzel plays Elsa. Most people think the movie is nice and fun to watch, but both critics and moviegoers have said that the length of the movie is too long. Some people thought that the length of the movie was too long for a short movie, which took away from the overall viewing experience. Also, the short film's music and story were not as good as those in the first Frozen movie. This makes Olaf's Frozen Adventure another one of Disney's worst sequels. Next, even though the movie's trailer and voice cast, which included Jake Gyllenhaal and Lucy Liu, looked good, Strange World bombed at the box office and didn't connect with viewers. The movie takes place in the world of Avalonia, which is a lively place where a famous family of explorers called the Clades live. Soon, they will have to work together to go to a mysterious land under their world that has strange creatures and a resource they need to keep living.
Hey Diazo, how was my weekend? What did I do? Oh, yeah, I just ran through a nightmare tunnel to rescue my dad. No big deal.
It has well-written characters, beautiful scenery, and beautiful animation, but the story is boring and not very original, and Disney fans have heard it too many times before. Its boring plot has gotten it bad reviews on sites like IMDb, which explains why it has such a low score. Finally, we have Home on the Range. Roseanne Barr plays Maggie, a cow whose home is destroyed by the notorious cattle thief Alameda Slim. Maggie is sold to a farm. When the sheriff shows up to tell Maggie's new owner that she has 3 days to pay off her debts or lose her land, Maggie talks to 2 other cows into helping her catch the bandit and get his reward.
Why don't we go nab that Alameda Slim and use the reward money to save the farm?
They'll have to beat out the sheriff's horse, who wants to catch Slim to impress a local bounty hunter, who is his hero. Home on the Range is better than most animated movies from the 1990s because it has beautiful animation and a few good songs. Compared to Disney, it's a travesty, with flat characters, too many cow jokes.
How come they got to go through?
They're cows.
What? But what about the rabbit?
Well, obviously, he was with the cows.
And a story that tries to be a grand western, but is held back by Disney's executives. Which did you believe is the worst? Comment below.